The Great Pyramid of Giza has fascinated humanity for millennia, standing as one of the most enduring wonders of the ancient world. Built during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu around 4,500 years ago, it was originally known to the Egyptians as Ahet Khufu, the horizon of Khufu. To this day, it remains the largest and most complex of the pyramids at Giza, not just in its sheer scale, but in the mystery of its internal structure, especially the so-called hidden chambers that continue to intrigue scientists, historians, and curious minds around the world. Although early speculation about secret rooms was shaped by legend, mythology, and speculative fiction, modern archaeology, architectural analysis, and advanced scanning technologies have revealed that the hidden chambers within the Great Pyramid are not supernatural vaults of alien wisdom or secret repositories of metaphysical power, but rather functional architectural spaces with clear engineering and symbolic purposes rooted in ancient Egyptian religious beliefs, funerary traditions, and astronomical knowledge. The story of the Great Pyramid begins with the ancient Egyptians' belief in the afterlife and the divine nature of the pharaoh. Unlike most rulers in history, Egyptian kings were not seen as mere mortals, they were considered gods in human form, the living embodiment of Horus, son of Osiris. When they died, they were believed to transform into Osiris, the god of the afterlife. The pyramid, therefore, was not merely a tomb but a cosmic portal, a structure designed to facilitate the pharaoh's journey from earthly life into the eternal realms of the gods. This worldview shaped every aspect of the pyramid's design, from its precise alignment with cardinal points to the internal passageways that mirror spiritual and cosmological beliefs. At the core of this system is the main internal arrangement known for centuries: the king's chamber, the queen's chamber, and the grand gallery that connects them. For generations, these spaces were thought to be the primary functional rooms of the pyramid, the resting place of the king's sarcophagus, an undecorated adjacent chamber, and a monumental passageway, respectively. But in recent decades, advanced technologies such as muon tomography, a scanning method similar to X-rays but using cosmic particles, have revealed previously unknown voids and chambers, prompting fresh questions about the internal architecture of the Great Pyramid. In 2017, the world stood captivated when scientists announced the discovery of a large void above the Grand Gallery. Dubbed the Big Void, this space is roughly 30 meters long and located beyond the known internal structure. Its existence was confirmed through international scientific collaboration, not speculation, a triumph of modern science applied to ancient mysteries. Critics of pseudo-archaeology rushed in, claiming it must hold lost treasures or secret knowledge. Yet experts in Egyptology have been careful to temper excitement with evidence, reminding us that history rarely supports dramatic interpretations without contextual support. What, then, is the true purpose of the Great Pyramid's hidden chambers? To answer this, we must examine the interplay between architectural necessity, religious symbolism, and the physical demands of constructing one of the most massive stone edifices ever built. First, some chambers were clearly engineered for structural stability. The Great Pyramid consists of millions of limestone blocks weighing several tons each. Engineers of the time recognized the need to alleviate stress on internal spaces to prevent collapse under immense weight. The so-called relieving chambers above the king's chamber are excellent examples. Long known to Egyptologists since the 19th century, these layers were not mystery rooms but intelligent architectural solutions designed to distribute the weight of the pyramid away from the central burial chamber. Without these relieving chambers, the king's chamber, built of enormous granite beams, might have cracked under pressure. Their existence shows that the ancient builders possessed advanced knowledge of structural mechanics, even if they described it through religious metaphors rather than technical manuals. Second, other spaces served ritual and symbolic functions tied to Egyptian cosmology. The alignment of the Great Pyramid to the cardinal directions, its proportions reflecting mathematical constants like pi and possibly the golden ratio, and its location within the Giza Plateau all signal a deliberate integration of cosmology, religion, and architecture. Many scholars believe that the internal passageways mirror the path of the pharaoh's soul through the Duat, the Egyptian concept of the underworld, toward rebirth and union with the stars. The narrow ascending and descending passages may represent the soul's journey, the Grand Gallery could symbolize spiritual ascent, and the Queen's chamber may have been intended as a symbolic staging ground in the afterlife journey. These interpretations are informed not by superstition, but by careful study of tomb inscriptions, funerary texts like the pyramid texts, and Egyptian beliefs about the afterlife far more intricate than simple burial rituals. The hidden void above the Grand Gallery, while still under investigation, fits into this framework. Egyptologists caution that it may be another relieving space, a structural void created to protect adjacent passageways, or it could represent a chamber that had a symbolic or ceremonial purpose that did not require a physical sarcophagus or treasure. In other words, it may not have been designed to contain objects but to fulfill architectural and ritual functions that made sense in the context of ancient Egyptian cosmology. Another layer of understanding comes from considering the social and political context of pyramid construction. Pyramids were state-sponsored projects involving thousands of skilled workers, architects, stonecutters, and laborers organized over decades. These structures embodied not only religious beliefs but also state power, economic organization, and artistic achievement. The decision to incorporate multiple chambers, visible and hidden, reflects a culture that valued cosmic order, Ma'at, skilled craftsmanship, and the pharaoh's eternal role within both human society and spiritual realms. The hidden chambers might therefore represent elements of a carefully designed inner network that balanced practical engineering needs with symbolic meaning, rather than secret repositories of unknown magic. Throughout history, the unknown often attracts sensational interpretations. Tales of hidden golden chambers beneath the Sphinx, of alien knowledge, or of suppressed inscriptions may be captivating, but they rarely hold up to rigorous investigation. True scholarship confirms that every room and passage in the Great Pyramid was built with intention, whether practical, symbolic, or both, and each must be understood within the worldview of ancient Egypt, not modern fantasy. The hidden chambers are not evidence of conspiracies, they are evidence of a civilization that integrated engineering, religion, and cosmology into a unified architectural expression. Modern explorations also remind us that scientific tools can reveal what human eyes alone cannot. Muon tomography, for example, detects changes in particle flow inside massive stone, allowing researchers to identify voids without invasive excavation. These discoveries are invaluable because they respect the integrity of the monument while expanding our understanding. Although new spaces have been identified, the careful analysis begins with hypotheses rooted in Egyptology, archaeology, and physics, not sensational claims. The scientific community continues to study these voids, mapping their dimensions and relationships to known structures to determine whether they are structural, ceremonial, or a combination of both. It is also important to understand what the ancient Egyptians themselves documented about pyramids and the afterlife. The pyramid texts, inscribed in later pyramids but reflecting long-standing beliefs, describe the king's transformation into stars and his journey into the sky. They speak of doors opening and the sky lifted in metaphorical terms that reflect celestial rebirth rather than physical treasure chambers. This supports the idea that some internal spaces in pyramids were symbolic loci for the king's rebirth rather than storage rooms. Hidden chambers could have served as places where rituals were performed, where priests placed offerings, or where symbolic items were positioned according to religious rules now lost to time. Another angle to consider is the architectural evolution of pyramid design. The Great Pyramid represents the apex of Old Kingdom pyramid construction. Earlier pyramids, such as Djoser's Step Pyramid, contained complex internal corridors and chambers that evolved over time. By the time of Khufu's reign, architects had already experimented with different internal systems, each with combined functional and symbolic purposes. Scholars see the Great Pyramid's hidden chambers as part of this evolutionary architectural language, one that trusted voids and spaces as integral to the monument's spiritual meaning. Most importantly, the Great Pyramid and its hidden chambers teach us about the power of human ingenuity, belief, and organization. These were not random spaces created by accident or mystery. They were highly deliberate elements of an architectural masterpiece that required immense mathematical precision, for example, aligning the entire structure within fractions of a degree of true north, and spiritual coherence. The builders were not only engineers, they were priests, astronomers, artists, and cosmologists whose worldviews shaped the design of every stone. As research continues, scholars remain open to new discoveries while grounded in evidence. Future scans may reveal additional voids, and these will be mapped and studied with an eye toward architectural explanation, religious context, and historical continuity. The Great Pyramid's hidden chambers are not puzzles to be solved by sensational claims but invitations to deepen our understanding of a civilization that saw no divide between science and religion, between architecture and cosmology. The true purpose of the Great Pyramid's hidden chambers is therefore neither simple nor sensational. It lies at the intersection of practical engineering, spiritual symbolism, and the ancient Egyptians' profound concern with the afterlife and cosmic order. These spaces remind us that ancient civilizations were capable of astonishing feats of architecture integrated with deep philosophical meaning. They remind us that mystery need not be supernatural to be profound. And they invite each new generation of scientists, historians, and curious minds to look with both wonder and rigor at a monument that continues to stand as a testament to human creativity, ingenuity, and the timeless quest to understand life, death, and what might lie beyond.